as Alex mentioned, we're going to go over the new insured welcome workflow, which means that we will start from NowCerts because it is triggered by the addition of a new insured. And you enter new insureds here in NowCerts. So after you follow the link to the NowCerts test agency that you should have received in the email, if you did not, please ask for it in the chat. You will be here in NowCerts in the test agency, and you can enter an insured. Of course, if we do not publish the workflow, it will not get triggered. So first we have to build the workflow and then publish it so that when we enter the new insured, it will actually trigger the workflow in Automate when this insured goes over to the system, to the CRM. I suppose most of you should know how to add a new insured. So we can do this afterwards if you want, but let's first focus on the workflow. What do you think, Alex?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's focus on Automate, and then we will be able to show everything else needed.
Yes, sorry, I clicked too fast. When you log in, you will be here at the dashboard. And if you look further down in the left-hand side navigation menu, you will see automation. So if you click on it, this is where you can build the workflows, or you may refer to them as automations. And if you want to create a new one, you just click on the green button, Create Workflow. Then you have several options to use some templates. Usually we start from scratch. That is with a blank slate, so to say. And then after you have made your choice, you can click on Create New Workflow again. And you will be able to build it, starting with the workflow trigger and then building the sequence of actions that you want to happen once this trigger actually comes into existence. For example, adding a new insured would be tag added insured, because automatically when you enter a new insured in NowCerts, it will go over to Automate, and automatically the tag insured will be applied to the record to distinguish it from prospects and contacts to insureds and prospects and so on. So in this case, we click to add the new workflow trigger, and you can just scroll down through the triggers and find the one you want, or you can search for it. It would be contact tag. And then we can add filters because this is too broad of a trigger. And we will say tag added, and then we select insured. And we save the trigger. Of course, you can change the name of the trigger if you want, so that when you open the workflow, you know what you have done without having to click on it. You can also change the name of the workflow so that it is not this random number. For example, our pre-designed workflow is called New Insured Welcome, but you can call it whatever suits your preferences. And then you shouldn't forget to save your workflow. Of course, we are not ready yet, but I periodically save everything that I do, just in case. And then we can start building our actions. So Alex, what would you say we should start with?
Well, it really depends on what your preferences are, but what we usually suggest is the first step to be an email, sending a thank you email or a welcome email to the new insured.
Yes, that sounds like a great idea. And maybe what we do in our pre-designed workflow is adding a condition, checking if the policy has been marked as new business. You can select this in business type when adding policies in NowCerts. So if it is new business, you can send them an email of the type, welcome to my agency. But if it is not new business, then you don't have to welcome them to your agency. For example, if you had a personal insured and then they also had commercial insurance, for the commercial insurance, you wouldn't select the new business type, right?
Yeah. Just sorry to interrupt, but Will is asking, can you add additional email addresses as BCC?
Oh, BCC, no. You can forward the email replies, or you can CC an email, one email address for all outgoing emails here, but we do not have the BCC option, the blind copy.
We can show you later how to forward the emails to your inbox if needed as a BCC in the settings.
Okay, so let's say that this is a welcome email. You need to enter a subject and a message. If you do not write anything, it will not let you save this action. And you do not have to enter a from name or from email, but you can. It's just that the email address you enter here should match your domain. Otherwise, it would probably go to spam if it doesn't match your domain. And you can also select templates. So you can build a pretty email in the email builder, or you can just set up some basic templates of emails and SMS and select them from here. I don't think it is necessary for us to type in the whole email right now. I will just save it. And then we can proceed with the actions. Maybe I can show you how you can do the conditional branching we were talking about.
Right, so it depends on if it's a commercial or personal insured. You can send different types of emails.
Sure. So do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so let's go to if and else condition and select the contact details filter in order to, and then tag. Right, and then let's select, I'll take commercial. Yeah, if the tag includes commercial. So if the answer is yes, then we would send an email meant to be sent to a business.
Yes, let me move this one. This is the welcome email. Let's say they all receive it. And now we have a different email for commercial, maybe something with important information.
Yeah, we can even use a custom value here with their name.
Sorry, with what?
With the name of the business, yeah. Exactly. By clicking on the right side, you can select different custom values, as here, what Ileana just selected says contact.company name. This, the system will automatically pull out the name of the company and put it in the subject.
Yes, and you shouldn't be mistaken. This is actually the insured name. So even for a personal insured, if you select this placeholder, it will just display the insured name, but with the surname first, last name, and then the first name, comma, first name. The way it is displayed in NowCerts, actually.
The same custom values, the placeholders, can be used also in the body of the email, in the verbiage. Here, yeah.
Yes, for example, hi, and we can say, let's pull up the first name of the insured. And when we are closing the email, we can say regards and pull up the signature of the user assigned to this insured. And in the body of the email, we can use all sorts of placeholders, for example, for policy number or expiration date, or actually it would be more appropriate now, effective date, since it's a new insured.
Endless options, yeah.
Exactly. And you can also add an SMS action. If you want to, again, you can choose a template. If you want, as I mentioned, for example, here we have a new insured welcome template. You can just choose it, and you cannot edit it here. So you will have to go to the templates and edit it there if there is something, but you can just choose it and save the action. And also you can add files or attachments to the SMS as well as to the email. And then if you want to, you can just grab those. Actually, we can copy one action, or you can copy all actions. So if you want, we can copy both the email and SMS and paste them here. Now I just copied only the email. For example, for the personal, we want only an email. And if we had something different, for example, here it says commercial in the subject, we can just change it a little bit, and you don't have to do it all over again. There is a shortcut, so to say.
Many agencies would like to add a wait step of, let's say, 3 days or a week, and then add a new action called Google review request. That's really useful because after you issue a policy for a new insured, you can ask them to leave a review for you on Google.
Yes, let's do it step by step. You guide.
Okay, so go to the wait step. I would say 3 days is sufficient time. I have a question. Do you support an integration with Trustpilot? As far as I know, no, at the moment.
I haven't heard of such integration either.
After we finish with the workflow, we can show you what type of integrations we have. Okay, so after the wait step, let's go again, click on the plus sign under and type review in the search action. And let's select, the send review request. You can choose between email and an SMS. You can also add 2 steps and send both. Totally up to you. And as you can see, you can configure the settings under reputation, right? Reputation settings, where you can create your own template for how the review would look like to request a Google review request.
Yes, I am having some internet troubles. So we'll just go back to the automation.
Yeah,
I think it's loaded. No, it didn't, sorry.
Right now, you can see that you have sent review requests 2 times. So what is really useful is that you can always change the name of the action. As Ileana is showing, you can rename it and type email and then SMS. So you don't have to click every time and review what that step does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you should notice here in the upper right corner, the workflow stays in draft mode while we're building it. So you don't have to worry about it getting triggered at some awkward point where you have not finished building until you actually toggle this on and publish it and then save it. Nothing will be triggered.
Right.
Yes, another thing that we do with the new Insureds here in Automate is create an opportunity card in the pipeline. You might have heard of it as a deal card. And you can move it through the stages if you want. Usually, we create it in the last stage of the new business pipeline, which is called issue policy. So we can just search for opportunity, and here we have create or update opportunity as a workflow step. We can select our pipeline, for example, new business or another pipeline that you have. And here we see all of the stages of this pipeline, and we choose issue policy. And here toward the bottom, we can also choose the status. So if it's a new insured, it is already won, so we wouldn't want it to be open. And we can select what the name would be. In the pipelines, you can choose to see the company name, which, as we discussed, is the insured's name. So for opportunity name, you might still choose to use the placeholder for the insured's name so that you see it as the name of the opportunity, or you can choose something else like the line of business or anything that speaks to you, so to say. Then in opportunity source, if you have something you want to specify, we can put it here. And for lead value, for example, we can use the placeholders for the total premium or the commission for the new policy. And again, as Alex explained before, the placeholders can be accessed by clicking on this icon that looks a little bit like a bookmark on the right. And then you can just choose whatever you want to use. And we are also able to allow duplicate opportunities. For this one, I don't think it is really needed for the new insured. What do you think, Alex?
No, not really. For the new insured, it's not needed.
Yes, but for example, for renewals, when insureds have multiple policies and many of them could be coming up for renewal at the same time, you might want to allow duplicate opportunities so that you have a opportunity or deal card for each policy, not just one opportunity for the one insured.
I don't mean to interrupt, but a few people are asking if they will be able to have access to the recording of the webinar. I would just like to confirm that we will send the recording within 48 hours. No worries, you will have it in your inbox.
Do we have any other questions or just about the recording?
3 questions about the recording. That seems to be, I'm happy to hear that because you probably will need it to refer to it when you add a new step to one of your workflows. No other open questions right now.
Okay. So how do you suppose we should proceed? Oh, we can show them the go-to step.
Right.
Yes. So I created the opportunity.
I'm sorry, we have a question. Can you go over the duplicate opportunities again?
Okay, sure. So if you do not allow duplicate opportunities and you create another opportunity in the new business pipeline for the same insured record, it will just update it. But if you have allowed duplicate opportunities and you have 2 workflows that create the opportunity in the new business pipeline and the 2 insureds go through those 2 workflows, 2 different opportunities or deal cards will be created. Does this make sense to everyone?
I think it does. It's yeah, you explained it really well. Thanks a lot. Yes, we have a confirmation.
Awesome. Okay. So I added the opportunity step only for the ones in the personal branch. I can just copy it and put it in the commercial as well. And or I could have moved it as well. You can do that. You can also delete it. And here, for example, if we want the only different thing to be the email for commercial and personal, we can search for a go-to. And when you click on it and save it, it will ask you where to go to. So from the email to personal, we can just go to the create opportunity here and then wait 3 days, send review requests by email and then by SMS. So you don't have to repeat all of these same actions if there is nothing different in the 2 branches or more branches. If you have different emails for different tags or however you like to conduct your business. And of course, never forget to save your workflow. Although if you do not refresh the page and you try to go out of the workflow without saving it, if it will ask you to confirm it. For example, let me make a small change here. And when I click on back to workflows, this message pops up that I have unsaved changes. And if I click on confirm, it will let me get out without saving it. But otherwise, I can click on cancel and save it.
Maybe we can show, if you click on the plus sign, we can show what our CRM action steps are available, because today we are showing one of the basic workflows. And yeah, soon we will have another webinar workshop where we can show more complicated automations based on the integration with NowCerts. And there will be included more steps, different kind of conditions. But yeah, we can review them here in the list showing. Yeah, as the first one in external communications, these are the email, the SMS, all the ways you can reach out to your insureds and prospects. And then the CRM options, we didn't include a tag here as a step to add or remove a tag because this was already done automatically from NowCerts. But this is also something you can do. You can ask the workflow to add a tag to your insured or prospect. As you can see, you can add also tasks, you can add notes. Just to mention here, this will be covered on other webinars, but notes and tasks and SMS, outgoing, incoming, these are all automatically going back to NowCerts and showing in your insured information details.
Yes, for example, we might want to, I don't know, just saying that the welcome email has been sent. Should we also add a task or just go through the other actions?
Yeah, whichever way you prefer. Yeah, there are plenty of CRM action steps you can add. Let's say you have a new insured and they told you that they don't want to be a part of any marketing campaigns. They're not interested. So you can go and set the contact D&D step here. And then based on a tag, for example, this is a recent update. You can select D&D option for specific channels. Previously, it was based on the contact level, and you could exclude a contact from all type of communication channels, but now you can select the channel: call, SMS, email, Facebook, Google My Business. I think soon we will have Instagram. So yeah. We have a question. Can you add a task for someone to produce a certificate of insurance? Yeah, absolutely. Let's show that.
Okay, so when you add the task, you can put in the title and description. You can use again placeholders if you want to. Then you can choose who you want to assign the task to. Here you will see all of the users right now in the NowCerts test agency. And I just chose the contacts assigned user, which means the user who has been assigned to the insured here in the CRM system, because this is separate from the agents and CSRs you assign in NowCerts. Of course, on the basis of tags, for example, that you apply in NowCerts, we can trigger a workflow to assign users. For example, if they have commercial tag, it can be assigned to one user, for personal to another, or you can have tags for different departments, but we're getting into another topic right now. And for the due date for the task, when you create it via workflow, the maximum is 5 days and the minimum is now. So you can just select how urgent it is. Let's say 3 days.
Perfect, thanks as well. And can Automate 365 and or NowCerts automatically produce a certificate of insurance? Yeah, produce. Well, Automate, no, but NowCerts, I think there is an option to do that.
Yes, in Automate, we do not really have the option for file creation or file management. In NowCerts, there are such options, but I am not 100% sure how automatic it could be.
Yeah, let's get back to Will about that. Yeah, because Automate is meant to be the tool for communication, for marketing purposes, and there is no option to file to storage documents. And then we will see what the options are about the certificate of insurance with NowCerts. What is the level of automation there?
Okay, I have noted it down, and we will get back to you on that, Will. Sure. And then another thing you may want to do, for example, some agencies want to wait 4 or 5 or 6 months. So let's say wait 150 days and then just send an email to check in with the new insured or remind them to give you a Google review request if they haven't done it yet. Or if you want to, you can just add them to a new workflow. If you have another workflow built out with different steps like drip campaign, for example, where you send an email, then wait a few days and send another email or SMS or contact them in a different way. You can just choose the action to add to workflow when the insured reaches this step, and you can select which workflow to add them to.
Okay, I don't think we ever created such a complicated new insured welcome workflow. So maybe we can stop complicating it. Let's
Go
check
over the settings maybe? Or
maybe a good idea.
okay, so here you can choose the sending window for the messages, emails, and SMS. It could be any time or a specific time, for example, the business hours. Then under it, you can choose sender address for the emails. If you have a lot of emails in the workflow, here you can say from which name and from which email they come from. Again, the email should match the domain you're using here in Automate 365, the sending domain. And here we have a couple more options. For example, allow multiple. We don't really need it here, but just in case, if you need to add someone twice to the workflow, you might want to toggle it on. Although for the new insured welcome, you only need them to go through this workflow once and receive the welcome email once. But it depends on what workflow you're building. If you do not toggle this on, it means that they can go through the workflow, and then the second time you try to add them, or they fulfill the conditions of the trigger and try to be added to the workflow automatically, they will just be skipped. They wouldn't go through the workflow again. But if you toggle this on, then they can go through this workflow as many times as they are added. Then you can choose to stop on response. For example, if it is a workflow of the type of a drip campaign where you send lots of emails and lots of SMS one after the other, you might say, okay, once they respond to one of these messages, stop the workflow, remove them from it. And then the third option we have here as a toggle on is auto mark as read. This is because by default, outgoing automated messages, emails, and SMS coming from a workflow appear in the conversations under the tab that says unread. This is with a view to see that your outgoing messages are going out. But if you don't want them to be in the unread tab, you can just toggle this on and they will be marked as read. And still, if someone responds to these messages, the email reply or SMS reply should go in the unread tab. Correct, Alex?
Absolutely.
And then the last option here is if you want to run this workflow on the basis of an event start date. For example, you have something starting on the 25th of this month, and here you can add this date and have the wait steps in accordance with this start date. And if we want to, oh, we have something. These settings are specific to this workflow. Yes, these settings are specific to this workflow. They are not global. For each workflow that you create, you have the settings and you can set them. If you clone the workflow, you will clone not only the actions we have built out here, but also the settings you have set.
Right.
You wouldn't be cloning the history of the workflow though. In the history and the status tabs, here it is a new workflow that hasn't been published, so we have nothing. But if we go to another workflow, we will be able to see all of the insureds or prospects or whomever has gone through this workflow, what actions or steps they have gone through, whether they were executed or skipped, what happened. You can, in fact, troubleshoot your workflow, so to say. Actually, let me go to one. I hope it loads. Okay, my internet connection is better, I think. Okay, so here we have a new insured welcome that is published, and there were some people who have gone through it. So if we click on the history, and here we see step by step for this insured test 0518 added to the workflow, and then all of the steps they went through, what steps were skipped. I suppose this one doesn't have an email address or a phone number. Yes, here you can see no email. If you click on this icon like a clipboard, you can see why it was skipped or more information for the actions that were executed. For example, here it is opportunity updated successfully. And in the status, you will only see not step by step, but each of the insureds that have gone through this workflow. And I should have this page, yes. Alex was talking about the Google review request, so here is the page. You can continue the explanation.
Thank you, Annie. Here in the reputation management, here on the left side, you can see right under phone numbers. The reputation management allows you to create templates for the Google review requests you sent. They can be customized to be displayed on a cell phone or when you're sending an SMS, and displayed on computer when you send an email. You can add the verbiage here and subjects, and you can send directly review requests from here. You can add the action step from into a workflow to be sent from, or there is another way to go to the list of contacts you have and select one or more you would like to send a request to, and actually do it from there. We'll show you just in a moment. Let's say you want to send the Google review request to the first two contacts. You can select them from here, and then when you click at the bottom, at the top, sorry, start, you can send the request. The template you already created in the reputation management settings will be sent automatically to those contacts. Right. You can select to send either an SMS or an email. Yeah, in the action, you can type, it's for internal use, a description of what your action is. Is it a workflow? Is it a marketing campaign? Yeah, is it a test?
And what's cool here is if you send it to more than just two insureds, you can say, for example, to add it in drip mode, to send it in drip mode, and you can select the start date and time. And then you can say the batch quantity. For example, if you're sending to like, let's say 500, you can say send to 10 and then repeat after 30 minutes or whatever you find suitable. This is useful for when you're sending to a big amount of people, so that large amount of people, sorry, so that you do not overwhelm the servers and you're not marked as a spammer. You can also select, for example, to send it only on the business days during business hours, and then you just send it. Another option, in addition to sending it all at once, is to send it at a scheduled time. Because if you send it all at once, it will be right now. If you send it at a scheduled time, it could be later, even on a different day. And again, it would be all at once, but at a scheduled time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Maybe now is the time to mention, we are excited to announce that soon we are launching a service where you can hire us for more complicated tasks. If this sounds like something of interest for you, please sign up on the waiting list. We'll be sending out a follow-up email with more information on how to get started if that's something you would like to know more about. And I think we can open a Q&A session. If there are any open questions now, if you want to know something more about the new Insured welcome workflow we just created or something else about Automate 365, you can see we're, we have 12 more minutes. So we'll be happy to answer your questions now. Will we get the free username and password today? Yes, absolutely. You mentioned a possible workaround to not being able to do BCC.
Yes, so if we click on the settings and then we go to SMTP and Mailgun services. Oh, so sorry. We were thinking of this as a CC option. It actually says BCC.
Yeah.
Yes. Really sorry. So here you can actually copy yourself or another email address. For example, you might want to copy a general email address to all outgoing emails from workflows or manually sent. Yes, I'm so sorry. I seriously thought this was saying CC, not BCC.
No worries. You look at this every day, so yeah, probably. Is this for all outbound emails? Yes. This is related. This is in the general settings for all outgoing emails. There are some details here about mass emailing, but that's better to be discussed in during your onboarding process, because it's individual. each agency has different way of reaching out to their insurance prospects, and yeah, there are plenty of options we need to discuss in one-on-one meetings. And yeah, by the way, if you have questions after the webinar, if there's something you would like to know more about, or you want to ask something, you can reach out to us directly to our email info@automate365.net, or yeah, if you can go to our website automate365.net, you can also schedule meeting, our calendars, and we can talk in Zoom.
So we have a couple of minutes left, and if you have any questions, now is the time to put them in the chat. Thank you.
If you don't have the ability to type right now, please click on raise hand, and we can allow, I think we can unmute your microphone so you can ask your question. That's also a possibility. How would you update the tag based on a change in NowCerts? This is a great question, actually. Annie, I think yeah, you are our tags expert. So would you like to elaborate on this?
Yes, just one moment. From prospect to insured. Okay, you actually don't need to do this. So when you're in NowCerts, it logged me out, sorry. But you all know how to enter a prospect in NowCerts. So when you have the prospect, and if you have the account in Automate, and you have already had your prospects and insureds exported, because after the first export, sorry, I cannot talk. They start exporting automatically, but the first few that you had before having your account created in Automate, we will have to export them manually. You can just let us know and we will export them for you. So sorry to go off on a tangent. When you add a new prospect and it comes over automatically here to Automate, the tag prospect will be applied again automatically. You don't have to worry about that. For example, this one, Richard Jones, it has the tag prospect. And if we go to this record and scroll all the way down, we see that it was created by public API. So this is displayed when they are created by being exported from NowCerts. And for example, if in NowCerts you convert this prospect to an insured by adding a policy or selecting to convert them, whichever way you use in your business process, they will again automatically be updated from a prospect to an insured. The tag prospect will be removed and the tag insured will be applied. You won't even have the time to see it happening. It will happen automatically when you make the change in NowCerts. So you don't have to worry about that. And about other tags, for example, if you want to apply a tag to someone who has been already exported to Automate, let's say, again, this person, if we go to the record of this Richard Jones in NowCerts and we apply the tag commercial, or let's say Iliana, if I want to say that I'm going to be the agent assigned to this person, and the tag will automatically come over to Automate. If you want to, you can remove it from Automate, but then it will be left in NowCerts. But if you remove it from NowCerts, since it came over from there and there is a link, it will also be removed from Automate. So it is actually best to enter all of the information for your prospects, insureds, carriers, MGAs, and so on in NowCerts, and then they can come over automatically to Automate, including their tags, policy information, and so on. And then, as Alex mentioned, here from Automate, if you add any tasks, notes, or have an SMS conversation with them, this will go over to NowCerts. But this is the only thing, the only data that goes over from Automate to NowCerts. Otherwise, it is from NowCerts to Automate. Alex, did I go over this too quickly?
No, perfect. There's another question from Will, and it's again a very good question. If I create a new contact in Automate, does that populate in NowCerts?
Yes, so it can, but it does not do it automatically. So you can create a new contact, as they are called here, by just clicking on the plus sign. You have probably noticed it. And then in NowCerts, in the left-hand side navigation menu, if you click on Automate 365, you will see 3 buttons. The first one would be Book of Business, then Automate Contacts. And if you click on Automate Contacts, you will be able to import any contacts created in Automate into NowCerts. And you will be able to select whether you want them imported as prospects, insureds, and what type, whether they should be personal or commercial. If I could just log in, I can show you what I am talking about.
The reason for that is that many agencies prefer to enter their prospect only in Automate and then export them in NowCerts only if they turn into insureds. Is that the same if we create a funnel page? When you create a funnel page, and let's say someone fills out a survey or a form on it, their contact record will be automatically created in Automate, but not in NowCerts. If I understand, okay, thank you. That's it.
Yes, but for example, we have a webhook specifically for quote application forms. So if they fill out a survey or a form here in Automate, then with the workflow containing this webhook, for example, you can find them, I think they're called, for example, commercial quote request, personal quote request. Let's see. Then it can go over to NowCerts automatically thanks to this workflow. That's, yes, they're called with quote request. For example, the commercial quote request, if we go into the workflow, you will see that it gets triggered by the submission of the survey for commercial auto. And then one of the steps in here is the webhook. And this webhook pushes this prospect into the quote applications together with the information they filled out.
Okay, I think we are running out of time. So last round of questions if you have. And yeah, as I mentioned, if you need more information, we're available for one-on-one Zoom meetings, emails as well, info@automate365.net. Our emails are also Iliana@nowcerts.net and Alexandra@nowcerts.net. Will we see more interactive webinars in the future? Yes, For sure. And we will appreciate a lot your feedback. If you have specific topics you'd like to see, if there's something in regards with your specific agency needs you'd like to talk about, we'll be happy to talk about in the future interactive webinars.
Yes, just one more thing. Sorry to keep you. I just logged into NowCerts. So here in the left-hand side navigation menu, you will see in bright orange, Automate 365. If you click on it, you will see the buttons we were talking about, Book of Business, and then here is Automate Contact. And for example, this one that doesn't have a square with an I for insured or P for prospect, if we click on it and select to import contacts, and here are the options we were talking about, insured, prospect, or principal, which is the contacts to an insured record or prospect record. And then you can choose the types, or if it's a principal, to which insured or prospect to link it when importing from Automate.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That was really helpful. I hope everyone thinks the same. And if you have questions, we are available. Hope to see you next time again. You will receive emails with information about our future webinars and what we will talk about.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. And thank you very much, Alex. I always like leading webinars with you.
Thanks. It's a pleasure. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.